What's up, you guys? This is OffTopicGames with another deck profile for you guys. This one is on the Victor deck. We actually really like this deck. Shout out to Zach who made this deck. It's a really cool deck and it's pretty fun actually. So for our starter, let's get started with Renbull. He's pretty good. GB1, when you ride on him, you should call him to rearguard to the side. Because it's GB1, when one of your other units in the same column as this unit stands, you stand this unit as well. So it's very nice because it's a free booster that auto restands when your other guy restands. But it's usually targeted to get retired, so it's kind of unfortunate. But it's a really good card, so that's why you run it. There's another starter. I don't remember what it does, but I like this one better, so that's why we run it. For our grade 3s, for Victor, it's the deck. GB2, when this unit attacks, this unit gets +5, and then you choose until the end of the battle, and then you choose one of your other rear guards, stand it, and then it gets +5,000 until the end of turn. And then the stride skill, when your Vanguard strides, you choose one of your Vanguards. It gets the ability when it attacks, the first attack specifically, so like Bustard or Vic Plasma, you can counterblast one, choose a rear guard, stand it, and give it +5k until the end of the turn. And then, yeah, basically it's like a once per turn effect where if you don't use it, you just can't use it again. So you can't do it on the second swing. So that's good to note because sometimes it does matter a lot. Next, we run for Dan Shark. I don't know about this card. This was in the deck when we got it, so I'll let you know what it does. Basically, it's an on-ride skill, counterblast 1, soul blast 1. On ride, top 5 for a rush card, I believe. Yes, so that, and then GB1, when this unit stands, it gets the skill counterblast 1 when it hits. You can choose a card and retire it with equal or less attack than this card. So this card is like pretty mediocre. It's not very good actually. I'll show you another card that people run that I actually really like and enjoy. So this is a common from BTO6. What is his name? Crystal Devil. So on ride skill, counterblast 1, soul blast 1. You can do this, choose up to one of your rear guards. Until the end of the turn, it gets auto once per turn. At the end of the battle that this unit attacked a Vanguard, you stand this unit, and it gets +2,000. So you give the rear guard that skill, and it's really good because it doesn't interrupt your plays that you normally do because it's dependent solely on the card that restands. The only problem is that if you don't have any rear guards to activate it, it's just useless. The other Vanguard effect is GB1, counterblast 1, Vanguard only. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, you choose up to one of your other rear guards with the rush ability, stand it, and it gets once per turn at the end of the battle that this unit attacked a Vanguard, stand this unit. So it's kind of like Victor, but it doesn't get +5, but it restands again. And then you can only do it with a rush card, so that's a bit harder, but it's technically really strong. Yeah. So I would actually suggest running this, but we just didn't change it so far, but this card is pretty good. For our grade 2s, we run 2 Cool Hanks. This can be taken out if you really don't like it, but I kind of like this skill because it's a rear guard that restands another rear guard. So what it does is counterblast 1 when this unit attacks a Vanguard. If this unit is boosted, you may pay the cost. If you do, stand one of your rear guards, it gets +5,000 to the end turn, and then this ability cannot be used until the end of till the rest of the turn. So yeah, basically once per turn. Just a note: if you attack the Vanguard unboosted, you still can't use this ability if it restands and stuff. So yeah. 2 of those. 4 Sanada because it's broken. It's also it's not, the card text isn't right. It says when this unit stands due to the effect of one of your cards, it gets +5,000 until the end of the battle. It's really until the end of the turn, which makes it amazing because if it stands, it gets +5, and then it stands again, it gets another +5. And so if it stands twice, it's like 19 by itself. So that's pretty nuts. Yeah, it's just a very good card you run for because it's strong. Very, very strong. Next we run 4 Aberel because it's also very good. It's also less dependent Cool Hank. The main difference is you need a Victor Vanguard and you need a Soul Blast for the cost. But it's an on-call, it's also an on-call ability. On-call, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, if you have Victor, you may pay the cost. This unit gets plus 2000, so it can attack unboosted. And then auto once per turn. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, choose up to one of your other rearguards, stand in, it gets plus 5000 to the end turn. So it's a combo. It helps your combos with your attacking order, and it's very good. We only run 11 grade 1s, so there's one Skylight Hedgehog in here. Before we were running a Hungry Dumpty, but I put this in as a one of. What it does is, when this unit is placed on the Vanguard rearguard circle, choose one of your other rearguards, and until the end turn it gets auto. When this unit stands to the effect of one of your cards, you can draw a card and then choose one of your damage zone cards and unflip it, and then this ability cannot be used for the rest of the turn. So this card is pretty good because it helps with your Bustard. You commit to the field, but you draw one and you unflip one anyways. And unflipping is kind of a problem in this deck, so it's nice. You can even put this card behind the Vanguard because it doesn't really matter, the booster. And you still get a +1, so it kind of evens out your commitment to the board. I see a lot of people running this card like 2 to 3, and that's fine. You can try adding more in. It's a pretty good card this way. And yeah. For grade 1s, we run 4 of this guy. I don't want to say its name. It's a 7k, GB1. If you have a Victor Vanguard, all of your other units in the same column as this unit get so it's a continuous effect, right? And it gets Rush, Auto, Vanguard, Rearguard Circle. When this unit stands, so the rearguard in this, or the card in the same column, when that unit stands, do the effect of one of your cards. Until the end of turn, this unit gets, or the rearguard in the same column as this unit gets Vanguard or Rearguard. When it attacks the Vanguard, choose up to 2 of your units, and they get plus 4000 to the end of the turn. So I actually don't love this card, but it's a pretty good card regardless, because basically when it stands and attacks, it gives 2 units plus 4000 to the end of the turn. So yeah, that's all I can really say. It's not a bad card, it's pretty good, and we run 4 of it. This is Kumar. I actually love this card. It's basically Sanada, but it has Rush. So what it does is Rush, Auto, Rearguard Circle, GB1. When this unit stands, do the effect of one of your cards. Until the end of the turn, it gets the effect, Rearguard. When this unit attacks, this unit gets plus 5000 to the end of the battle. But it's an effect that it gains, right? So basically it's the exact same thing as Sanada, because it gets that red text, the skill, as many times as it stands. So it's the same thing as Sanada. 7k versus 9k doesn't really matter too much. The only difference is Sanada can intercept, unless your opponent is a cross ride. But yes, very strong card. I would suggest you running it, but the reason why you're running 2 is because we have Sanada, so it's 6 total units that's like Sanada, and that's why it's at 2. You can probably bump it up and cut like Maliaki. Apparently I just said the name, but yeah. But a lot of people like him, so that's why you're running him. Next we run 4 Stride Fighters, because this is a G-specific deck that needs to stride like a lot. Striding is very important, and it also searches out Victor. Lastly, for our grade 1s, 4 unflipping PGs, because the deck can counterblast a lot, and you need unflipping for the deck, so that's why this is there. For our triggers, 4 heals, because healing is important. Don't really know what else to say. G-guarding is nice too. Usually you don't really like G-guard to first stride a GB2, because you want to do Bustard anyways. Unless you just like really want this card off first, both the effects as well as Vic Plasma. So it's a valid option if you need to. Next we run 6 crit. We run 4 Red Lightning, which means we run 2 of the Victor crit. The reason why I believe that the person wanted to do it this way is because this one goes in the soul and it unflips, and both the soul and damage are necessary resources that we need to use. And then this one's is plus 5k in draw, although it does get the soul, it doesn't get the unflip, and it's only during the battle phase, and it's not during the main phase when you may need the counterblast for like Alberel or something. And yeah. Lastly, we run 4 draw triggers, because drawing is very necessary. Not lastly, sorry, there's 2 more cards, but 4 draw triggers because drawing is very necessary in the deck because it's rearguard dependent, and against like Kagero and all the control matchups it's a lot harder, or just in general when you don't have the pieces. Lastly, we run 2 stands, kind of like a tech choice. We run one of each of the GB stands. They're both very good, but they do different things. So this card is GB1. Choose one of your units, and until the end turn it gets the rush ability. Auto skill. When this unit stands, do the effect of one of your cards. Until the end of the turn, this unit gets the Kumar effect, where when this unit attacks a Vanguard, it gets plus 5,000 to the end of the battle. And then you choose one of your units that gets that entire red effect, and then you return this back to your deck, and you shuffle it. So it goes back to your deck and you shuffle. It's good because if you don't have a Kumar or a Sanada, this card gives any unit a Sanada / Kumar effect, so it's nice. And it gives the effect Rush, so if it matters at all. Next we run Energy Girl. She's also very good because at the end of the battle that this unit boosted, choose one of your rear guards, stand it, and then this goes back to deck and you shuffle. It's also another combo helper because it's a essential rear guard that can restand something, so it's very nice. And yeah. So for our strides, we run 2 Victor because it's only 2 Victor because there's not enough room and we wanted 4 Vic Plasmas. But this card's effect is act once per turn. You choose this guy, turn it face up. When this unit hits a Vanguard, you can stand a rear guard and give it plus 5,000, so it's Vic 10 skill. And then GB3, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, choose up to one of your rear guards, stand it, and it gets plus 5,000. So if you're at GB3, when it attacks you just stand a unit, give it plus 5,000. And then no matter where you're at, if it hits, you choose a unit, it gets plus 5,000 and stand it. For Bustard, because Bustard's broken, what it does is, it's a once per turn skill, auto. Counterblast 1, choose a face down unit and turn it face up. When this unit attacks, you may pay the cost. If you do, you choose the same number of rear guards as the same number of face up cards named this in your G zone, and then stand them. Then, if 2 or more were stood, and you have 5 or more rear guards until the end of the battle, this unit gets auto, counterblast 1. Choose 2 cards from your hand, discard them. At the end of the battle, you may pay the cost. If you do stand this unit, it gets drive check -2 until the end turn. So nuts card because it stands up to 3 guys. It gets the restand effect for counterblast 2, so it's pretty cool. But you do have to have full field, so yeah. Next, we run 4 Vic Plasma. This is really for like specific Link Joker matchups or matchups where it's just hard. We also can run 4 because this can go first stride if you need to by counterblasting 4. It's like the ace that you may have seen in our previous video, where you use this skill, counterblast 2, flip 1, use it again, flip 1 another, and then it can swing twice. Also, this is SP, so it's nice. So that is that. We also have a Sabreeze in here because it's a GB specific deck, and you know, Sabreeze is nice when your opponent's grade locked. We're missing 1 card in here just to let you know, but the last card that we put in is Vic Tribute. When another card is, when a rear guard is stood, do the effect of one of your cards, you can counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards with equal to or less power than the card that stood, and retire it. It's a double rare from Fighter's Collection 2015. Yep. So that's good for like basic decks like Angel Feather or something that just has Broken Heart on the board and you just want to retire it or something. Anyways, for our G-Guards, we run 2 Blue Prison. Not the best G-Guard, but we'll take it. What it does is, when this unit is placed on the rear guard, or Guardian Circle, if the number of cards in your damage zone is more or equal to the number of cards in your opponent's damage zone, it gets plus 5,000. The really awkward part with this is you're playing a rush deck, so normally you'd want to be at lower damage than your opponent, or they would have higher damage than you, but I don't know, man. Bushiroad. But it looks cool. He's a superhuman, he's Blue Prison, and he looks nuts. So we'll take it. Next we run 1 Dismal because the rear guards are very important to us. And for those weird matchups like Deep Police or Kagura that can attack your rear guard. Screw, because it's nice. Discard a card gets plus 10k, but only if you have a card in your G zone already face up. So yeah, that's the basic deck. I'll show you a little bit of the combos that you can do with this deck. Let's say you just have the nut. Why not, right? So yeah, Victor, Bustard as your thing that you strode. You have a you have the nut, right? So you have your starter here on the side. Sorry if you can't see it all. Kumar or Sanada, it doesn't actually matter which one. So I guess we can just, and then Abriel that used the skill already. Stand trigger because you're broken. And so this guy would be really cool because you can use the effect. Or if you want to be a bit more safe, you can have a Hedgehog. So let me just get a Sanada really fast. Sanada is Kumar. They're the same thing, essentially. So, let's hope that your opponent has at least one rear guard. So what you do is, actually it doesn't actually matter. So let's assume that your opponent has, okay, let's just for argument's sake, sorry, that your opponent has one rear guard or something. So basically what you do is you swing this 14 or 12 at your opponent's Vanguard or rear guard or whatever. Then you swing this for 11, and this stands, which means this stands, and this becomes a like 21 or 22 lane. 14, 19, 20, yeah, 24 or 22 lane. So that happens, and this attacks again. And then this guy swings. You either have Hedgehog or this, it kind of matters. So you counterblast one, stand maybe 2 to 3 things, so you stand these. This one just stands by its own, but you should have 2. Do your things, put your triggers on here, restand him. If you restood him and you have this as the back, then it gets the effect. So you attack again, give the triggers here. If you have the ability, you give the trigger the +4 here, and then I guess the +4 here. If not, you just draw and unflip. It's also pretty good. Or you do it once, and you target like Sanada or Abriel, doesn't really matter. So then you swing Sanada again for a Humongous. Then you swing Abriel. It doesn't activate the effect because once per turn, but you have the stand trigger. So you stand this again, and you swing again. So that's the really, really strong play if you can actually have the entire board set up perfectly. And yeah, the deck is very strong when it can go off, but it's really hard against control matchups like Kagura, where if they just Denial Griffin one card, your Bustard can't go off, it's dumb. Or if you're playing against Gear Chronicle, they push you hard and they can control your board kind of, or punish you for going in. Link Joker, obviously, for obvious reasons. We don't run Poker in the deck because I don't think you can afford to. It's just kind of like a losing matchup unless you rush super hard or something and use like Vic Plasma or whatever. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this matchup, this deck profile, and the matchups that have featured this deck. I hope you guys really liked it. If you did, you can like and then subscribe to see more content. We are almost at 1,000, if not already, so if the giveaway has not been announced yet, please look forward to it. And also, you can check out our social media. Facebook and Twitter links are in the description below, and I'll see you all later.